This is going to be my very first past life reading. I was kind of waiting till the sun went down a little bit because I had a lot of things I had to run around and do. But I made sure that I saved enough energy for this. Plus, I've had the cards out today, and I've just been kind of looking at the spread and trying to figure out the best way to do this. I am being divinely guided to do the past life reading, and I've never seen one like this before, so this is brand new. I talk a lot in my other videos about past lives. You guys call them past lives, I call them timelines. And basically the way that I had it explained to me and it resonated with me was, imagine a big chessboard with all different squares. And each square is a different reality or existence that you can align to. And with that being said, we do so energetically because time doesn't exist. So it's not like you had a past life and your physical form died and then you reincarnated into something else and it's been all chronological. I know when my past life memories and deja vu moments and moments of clarity came through for me, at first I was trying to piece it together chronologically. And I was like, wait a minute, some of these overlap. I don't understand. I'm like, this is just a bunch of hogwash. I said that for a while. I'm like, this is just a bunch of bullshit. It's not true because there's overlapping time. And then I had it explained to me by my spirit guides that since time doesn't exist, don't even pay attention to it. It's just a man-made concept. And the other thing that's came up for me too, and I kind of touched on it in my Gemini video, and I did want to say too, that anybody that is any sign can watch any sign video because we are all one consciousness. Look at it as like almost like a patchwork quilt of souls. None of us are our bodies. We're all our souls, and all these souls are connected like a big quilt. And so we're all connected, and we're all kind of, even though we're unique and we each have our own unique vibrational blueprint and DNA encoded in us that has like all the details of and all of the ancient history of all that our soul has ever been. We are all connected. And I know a lot of times, and I had touched on this in my Gemini video, I mean, I've seen so many people who are like, I was Isis or I was Cleopatra. And at first I was like, now all these people cannot be that. How does that work? But as we start awakening from our soul amnesia and we start having memories, and because we are all connected, we could have, and it's that whole I am consciousness. We can basically be whatever we want and have been whatever we have been in the past. It's kind of hard to explain, but imagine the way I had it explained to me was like one big head with a bunch of eyes. And that's the universe, but it's all made up of souls, and the souls are all those different eyes. I like the patchwork quilt better, but whatever you resonate with. So with that being said, I know that was a little bit of a lengthy introduction, but if you hear me talk about timelines, it's what you consider to be past lives. And don't focus on the time too much. And I'm going to kind of explain how you can connect to your past lives as I go along. We have the Mary Magdalene card, initiation. And right away when I got this card, I was thinking that there are some people out there who have biblical timelines that they have been on, that they have actually been there with Mary Magdalene and Jesus, and possibly even at the end of Jesus's life. Now, I don't adhere to organized religion per se because I have my own viewpoint on that, and I had, touched on that in a couple of other videos that I made. The reason why is because, we have the ascended masters like Buddha and Jesus who are teachers. And if you notice, Buddha and Jesus taught the same messages, but in a different way. They taught about love, they taught about hope. The Bible itself, the New Testament, especially the Gospels, are all about manifestation and the law of attraction. But people in these different parts of the region and understand each ascended master taught to a different region in that particular language and that culture and that tradition. But people took it out of context, and man took it to mean my beliefs are superior than yours, therefore I'm going to enslave you, murder you, imprison you until you believe the way I believe, or just because you're inferior to me, I'm going to kill you. Look at the Crusades. There have been more war in the name of religion than anything else, and it was never meant to be that way. But man always has to label and judge everything, always has to categorize everything. And so with that being said, I'm still kind of putting together my own pieces as far as the Bible is concerned. I really look at it as more of, like I said, like the book of Psalms, for instance, is nothing but magic spells. The Gospels are nothing but, how to manifest in your life through the law of attraction. But I feel like some of you have had a biblical past and are very connected to Mary Magdalene, possibly even Jesus. And so what you need to do is, if you've had any type of signs or synchronicities or anything kind of repeating itself, anything showing itself to you over and over again, it can be feelings, it can be deja vu moments, it can even be billboard signs, seeing something over and over and over again, or something that just really rings true with you. Really meditate on it. Meditate on it, connect to your inner guidance, and see if you can start connecting the dots, because this is coming through for some of you. We have the Wind Activation card. And basically what I'm getting with this is that whole activation when you first started spiritually awakening. There was something that activated that in you. I mean, for me, it was my mom dying in 2014. And I really started, at that point, I really started changing. I went through this whole... My mom and I had this very codependent relationship where she was very controlling. And I really could not be who I wanted to be. And after she died, I really started coming more into myself, even though it was very traumatic for me, her death. It was very hard. Because like I said, we did have a very complicated relationship and we were very codependent. I started dressing in all kinds of vintage clothing. I went through this whole flapper era. And then I went through like this whole 1940s, 1950s era. And then I went through like this hippie phase. I'm like, this is just so weird, But it resonated with me. All of a sudden, I just didn't dress the same. The music I started listening to was different. And so do really pay attention to any type of patterns or anything that you're drawn to do that is out of the ordinary for you. And don't judge it, because, there's nothing is like one thing is better than the other. It's just different. If all of a sudden, you're drawn to like new hobbies and interests that, or even, playing an instrument or drawing or a certain author or poet, musician, really pay attention to what that's telling you, because this is quite possibly past lives coming through. I did talk in one of my other videos about the fact that I feel very strongly. I'm aware of, I'm up to about 20 past timelines now, or past, other timelines. And I look at them as like lower timelines, because those timelines were here to teach you something. And you weren't ready to be fully awakened at that time. There's something about this timeline that we're on now that are these timelines, because I feel like there's several. There's several that go with like your current reality. If you notice sometimes when your energy changes, your situation changes and it just feels different. You're like, man, this doesn't even feel like I'm on the same timeline that I was before. And a lot of times I would find out that I would get into it with somebody or have a conflict with somebody, and I would clear it, and then like the next day or two it was like it never happened. And I really think that there are several timelines of the same existence, and we just keep aligning to them. There's probably millions of timelines, but these other timelines where we were other things in other dimensions, other planets, other bodies, were lower timelines. We weren't ready yet to know everything, to connect the dots, but there's something about this timeline where we are ready to remember. And if you are not remembering, it is your fears. We incarnate here in the bodies that we're in right now into a fear-based 3D physical realm. It's based on fear. Everything in this dimension is fear-based. We have love, which is pure source energy, which most people don't have a clue what it is. True love. I mean, I heard someone say something the other day about conditional love and unconditional love, and that is an oxymoron. There can never be conditional love. There's only unconditional love. If it's conditional, then it's fear-based. So we come from pure source energy, which is love. We incarnate in these bodies so that we can experience duality, and duality is the flip side, which is the fears. And we take on more and more fears from infancy on up. And these are not even our own fears, because we're not born with fears to begin with. And as we start stripping these away, we get, like an onion, we get closer and closer to our soul vibration, which is pure love and source energy. And we start to see that everything that we believed to be true before was not true. And then we start seeing who we really are. And then things start resonating with us, and we start awakening to whatever our spiritual gifts are that we've always had. It's just we forgot them. We have the moon card, and the moon is all about illusions. And fears are illusions. So it's, it's not surprising that this moon card is clarifying the fears. You have to realize that fears are not real, and fears are what are standing in the way of you remembering and stepping into your power and accessing all of that soul knowledge that you have. You have to strip away those layers of onions in order to get to the source energy, the core vibration of who you really are as a soul. We have the 4 wind, patience. And a message that I'm getting with this is that there's a lot of you that are on this spiritual path, this spiritual awakening, that are just in a hurry for whatever reason. I want to step into this role, this God, this goddess role that I know that I am, because I feel it. I feel it. And I just want to get there. But you don't understand that the journey is the destination, and that you are an eternal soul having human experiences, and time doesn't exist anyway, so you have all of the time, per se, if it existed, in the world. So take your time and really set your intention that it be to return to your soul vibration and to have that inner union with your soul. And I talk a lot about inner union with the soul in my twin flame videos. If you are on a twin flame journey, do check those out. And the way that we have inner union with our soul is to strip off everything that is not love-based, everything that is fear-based. Wow. To clarify that card, we have the yin and the yang. And I have said this before, every soul on this planet was split in two. That is how we were created. That is how we were created, and then therefore we became co-creators with the universe. So this is our soul, every single person on this planet. This is our soul, and it was split in two. And part of our soul is in your body, and the other part is in the body of someone else. Now, some of us have had soul recognition with the physical form of the other part of our soul, which is called a twin flame. Now, everyone has a twin flame, but everyone is not ready to meet theirs yet. You know, we're just in the first wave right now of souls really trying to complete this, to reform that light and that shadow side of your soul. And you do, as you do this, you start discovering more and more who you've been before, what planets you're from. And you know, don't pay so much attention to labels, because understand the soul doesn't even know labels. Labels came up with to try to explain spiritual awakening. So try not to judge and label and box things in, because understand the soul has no language. So all of these terms and terminologies, even the term twin flame, the soul doesn't even know that. The soul just knows that it's been split in two, and it wants to reconnect with itself. And we do this by not judging, not labeling, and by working through those fears, any fears that come up, and returning to this love source vibration that we have. We have Athena in the Chariot card, and the first thing that I got with this is, if you have any type of inclination towards Greek culture, anything Greek whatsoever, maybe a fascination with the gods, the goddesses, or like I said, the culture, food, anything Greek. Some of you out there have this past, and some of you are very much aligned to the goddess Athena. So if this is something that resonates with you, this message is coming through for some of you, do definitely check that out. Do pursue that. Now, do not do this on the internet. When you start trying to get information about your past lives, this is not a situation where you sit online and look things up. You have to go by what rings true, and ask your spirit guides to send you some messages. To really clarify that, ask them to send you some signs letting you know. I know when I was asking for clarification of whether or not I was on a twin flame journey in the very beginning, I had asked the universe to send me 3 stars in 3 days. And within like 15 minutes, I was scrolling through my news feed on Facebook, and I saw 3 different people with tattoos that were 3 stars. And even to this day, I see stars. I see star tattoos everywhere. It is always in 3s, always. I know the stars are, you know, kind of a common symbol, but with it coming in the form of tattoos, it had a little twist to it. So do ask for signs from the universe, and then watch for them and believe them. But somebody has a Greek past. we have the Hermit card. And there's going to have to be a certain amount of contemplation and meditation. I haven't had TV service for 3 years. And it's crazy because I used to be really big on TV. You know, I had soul recognition with my twin flame. I started my journey. It was rather turbulent. Lots of shedding, lots of purging, lots of shedding those onion layers, I'm telling you. And then my son called me when I was at work one day, and he didn't understand I was really big on TV. He said, "Mom, you're not going to believe this." And I said, "What?" He said, "Lightning just struck our house, and it took our TV out." I said, "What the hell?" And no matter what happened, I never seemed to be able to get another TV. So everything just got in the way of me getting a TV. I finally had a TV donated to me, but then, for one reason or another, I could not get TV service. So I was like, you know what? I'm not meant to watch TV. So I did more, I wouldn't say thinking, because this is not a thinking journey, but I did a lot more contemplating. And when I did that, I really feel like that is what helped me evolve on this journey, was not taking all of that in. And it's such a distraction. Even now, like sometimes when my spirit team wants to work with me, I get distracted by my phone and I start scrolling through Facebook, and I can hear them saying to me, "Now look, you're doing this because you don't want to deal with what we're saying to you." So do be very mindful of distractions. We have the Lakshmi. I don't even know how to say that, but I did look this up. And she is a Hindu goddess, a Shakti goddess. And if you will Google like Shakti meditations, oh my God, on like YouTube, I found some that were so amazing. The Shakti goddess activation meditations that just really empowered me. And I'm feeling very strongly that somebody out there has either a Hindu or a Buddhist past that relates to this particular goddess. She is the goddess of abundance. And I believe this card is coming up because, like I said, somebody has that connection. So if you have any type of connection to or soul resonance with Hindu culture and this particular goddess, ask for your signs from your spirit guides and see what really rings true with you on a soul level, because this message is for somebody. And that is that Wheel of Fortune card also. And the Wheel of Fortune has to do with all of everything that we have been, like I said, as a soul. And it's kind of like a destiny wheel, because we do set out and we do create what type of experiences we want to have. We sit down and we plan it with our soul family. I do that even now. I have been in that room, in that fifth dimension room of planning with soul family and with my twin flame, where we decide what type of demos we want to have next in this matrix, what type of demos we want to simulate. That's the reason why now when they come up, I'm unbothered by them for the most part. I mean, every now and then one will get me and just really throw me off my game, and I have to pull back my energy. I have to be like, nope, we planned this together. It's all being orchestrated. To clarify that card, we have Frigga, readiness, bounty, and plenty. And the first thing I thought when I saw this card is that flaming red hair. Somebody has a Gaelic, some sort of Scottish past, that they, and you know who you are because you have always been drawn to that culture, either one of those cultures. Very earthy energy. Very earthy and very strong, strong-willed, very empowering, living off the land. Very strong feminine energy coming through. Very strong. And, you know, this could even be for a male on this particular timeline, that this was you on a past timeline as a feminine. A feminine energy, but being very strong, very powerful. Beautiful. Some sort of hunter or warrior. And this video is going to be a little longer than my usual ones, just because it's been kind of hard for me to describe the energy, and this is my first time doing this kind of reading, but I have the feeling that you guys don't mind, because it is very fascinating too. Mother Mary, sacrifice. And once again, somebody's got a very strong biblical past and a very strong bond to. This one here is Mother Mary. The other one was Mary Magdalene. But you know who you are. If this is something you've always been drawn to, and you've always been drawn to, and I'm getting that you've always been drawn to that whole nativity story, baby Jesus, the desert maybe, the Middle East. But once again, really connect to your spirit guides. And this message is for some. I mean, this is coming through very strongly. And understand, this can be for more than one person, because like I said, we are all one consciousness. So don't judge it. Oh, and what I was saying earlier, man, I missed my whole point altogether. I do that sometimes, and then something like triggers it. And I'm like, oh man, I need to pull it back. I have a Hollywood past. I have a very strong connection to Charlie Chaplin. I haven't put everything together yet, but I do know that he is somehow connected to me, and I'll leave it at that, because I don't know all the answers yet. I'm still trying to kind of connect the dots, and different signs are coming up for me. Like today, I went to get on my YouTube, you know, to kind of check on my Gemini video to kind of see how it was doing. And I was kind of scrolling through, you know, the videos that were popping up, and it said New York City, 1900 to 1919. It was a whole video about it. And I thought, what the hell? I haven't been like researching anything like that. So that let me know, you know, there's something about New York City from 1900 to 1910. Once again, I don't focus too much on the years. It is, you know, kind of like a time period per se, but I don't focus on the years, because you know those years don't really exist anyway in the higher dimensions. But there is something about it, and those are the kind of signs you could be getting too, and you get those and be just like taken back by like, what the hell. Oops, I'm so glad I didn't almost accidentally turn the video off. Ask for what you want. Let the universe and other people know what you need. So the message that I'm getting with this is, do ask the universe for signs. And what you can do is you can even email yourself. I know it sounds crazy, but you can send yourself an email and address it, Dear Universe. You know, this is if you are not, I did this in the beginning before I became closer to my soul. I'm not quite my soul yet, but I'm getting there to where I can ask my own soul now. I really don't even have to consult my spirit guides as much as I used to, because I can just go within and see how things feel. But in the beginning, I would email myself and I would address it, Dear Universe, you know, I would like to know, can you give me a sign? And, you know, you can even specify what sign you want. within like 72 hours if this is true or if this is not true, or however you want to word it. Say your thank yous 3 times, for it'll be done. Show your gratitude, and then just wait for it. And so that's what I'm getting with this card here. Main male. And you see this time period here? This era? It kind of reminds me of Clue. I don't know why I'm getting that Clue energy here. But this is for someone. And you might even, be a female, and this might have been you on a past timeline. I mean, not exactly you, not this person, but this particular era, this time period. And 1 might mean something to you. We have the gift card, and the universe wants to give you a gift, and it wants to give you the gift of giving you this knowledge of who you've been before and awakening you to your spiritual gifts, remembering them. That is the gift. And the gift is actually from your soul, because your soul is part of the universe. We're not our bodies. Nobody is your body. Nobody is their body. So stop thinking you're your body, because you're not. And stop thinking in terms of physical circumstances. All right, I'm going to read this postcard oracle card, and I have not read it yet. Dear you, now is one of those times you're being asked to add some distance, take a step back, and do nothing but observe. Wow. Don't worry about how long it will take to regroup. Remember what I said about patience? You have an eternity. Just know it's temporary and actually an opportunity to take a breath, slow down, and look at how far you've come. Decisions for the highest good are made when you have clarity, which comes from being open to information from both the intellect and the intuition. When you step into the role of observer, wow, it's as if you turn on a switch that allows your soul to be an essential part of the information gathering and decision-making process. I promise I have not read this card. In this way, you can approach things from a more neutral and non-judgmental place. We know you'll make the right choice. Trust us when we say now is not the time to get too close to the fray. Step back now. You'll be glad you did. Love you. Wow. That is so beautiful. That's the reason why when I pull this card, I always turn it over and I don't read it till the very end, because it's so beautiful when that happens. It's not beautiful. I really like this reading. I really did. And I really feel like I'm going to be able to really get with this every week and really help some people, really awaken to some things. And it's just a beautiful energy. I'm really happy about it. I'm doing my my personal readings. They're more like guidance sessions. And what I'm doing is for like 30 minutes for $40. And that's just my introductory price. We can actually converse. I'm kind of working on a Skype account right now, but for right now we could use, Messenger, my phone. I don't care. I'm real approachable because I'm doing more of an interactive type reading. Whether it be you want, to know more about twin flames, what's blocking you, maybe you're on a twin flame journey, or you want to know what's coming up with your past lives, or whatever's blocking you in areas of your life. I can kind of read your energy better too when we're actually more interactive and we're conversing back and forth, or conversating, or conversing, or however you want to call it. So if you would like to have one of those, they are $40 through PayPal or Cash App, or if you would like to make an energy donation, once again, I'll include all that information in the description of the video. Thank you for watching.